Hello, and welcome to another episode of Spoken Voices. We're glad you're here with us today, and we hope everybody's doing well. We hope everybody's doing fine. We hope everybody enjoyed their summer because yesterday was the beginning of fall, I believe. Not too sure. I get caught up in the seasons anyway. Not looking forward to winter. I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely not looking forward to that. Anyway, today, my guest is our producer, Miss Maribel Ramos Brooks. Good morning.
Good morning. Did you forget my name?
No.
Oh, I was just checking.
No. I know who you are. I know who you are. So I guess everybody wants to know, why are you joining me today? It's been a minute.
I know, it's been a while. It's been, oh my God, it's been such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! But I'm happy the studio's back.
Yes.
I'm happy to be back. Producing, directing. It's awesome to be behind cameras.
Right.
No offense. I just love being behind media.
Uh-huh.
You know, and it's great that we're here today. And I know you're the host, but of course, I'm the director. Mm-hmm. I like to talk about something.
That's fine. That's why you're here.
Media.
Okay.
When it comes to Latinos, you know.
Now, hold up a second. What kind of media we're talking about?
We're
Social
talking about
media
television,
or television?
you know,
stuff
television,
like
working with television, either acting or being a producer or just getting involved with television, you know. And I think that not too many of us Latinos, and I'm only going to talk Latinos. I mean, I'm sure there's other people, cultures that, you know, they may feel the same way
Right.
I feel. And I would definitely like to talk about my experience here on television.
Okay.
You know, and first and foremost, I do want to say how I appreciate the staff here to give me an opportunity.
Right.
You know. Why do I get emotional? I don't know. It's just because I'm so passionate about what I love to do.
Right.
And it's been a while. You know, I remember when I first started with television, especially getting involved with acting. You know, it was very hard for me.
Right.
It's been a very, very hard experience because stereotyping, you know, dictating people what they should do when it comes to television.
Right.
You know, and
Do you mean with roles and the expectation for what they want you to do?
well, yeah,
Or what?
that, but more about, let's just, you know, for example, the experience that I've been going through, applying for jobs, you know,
Okay.
applying for positions. I've been applying for producing or applying for costume or, you know, I've been trying to just come up with some ideas to help me, to empower me, to say to be able to do something different than just being a secretary. You know, I've been a secretary for the Board of Ed for many, many years, and significant years. And I don't know why I have this passion right now to work with television.
Right.
Maybe because I don't have the kids at home anymore. Raising, you know, being a single mom and raising the 3 boys before we met, it was a very difficult time for me.
Right.
And during that time, all I thought about was working very hard to nurture, to take care, you know, the kids, to pay the bill, to keep the roof above our heads. It was so hard for me because I do remember one time, you know, I got into welfare, you know, and it's okay because, you know what, I'm very humble and I love to talk about things. And I think it kind of helped me and it made me think. And so I was involved in some kind of music video. And since then, it just took a hold on me. It really did. And I'm talking about back in the early 2000s.
Okay.
And here we are, 2021. I'm a producer and director. I'm so grateful for that. And I appreciate the people here in Charter. They've just been awesome, like really awesome people because they have empowered me. I've been the only captain of this ship when it comes to coming up with ideas, creating the show, creating the credits, being able to work behind cameras, being able to do my own makeup, being able to do my own wardrobe, you know, helping you guys out. In the beginning, we did have people, but there's nobody now but me.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful for the studio to be back on board. And yes, we're both vaccinated. I'm so blessed by that. I'm happy. I wasn't, sure what is it that I wanted to do. Because when it comes to the Latinos, my point is, it's hard for us because we don't have the motivation. We don't know where to seek it. We don't know where to find it, where to find that empowerment and try to inspire us. And I want to talk about me because being a Latina, and again, Latina, what is that? There's too much of that going around, and I want to make things different, and I want to show the ability, especially for our next generation, that you can be whatever you want to be, and these inspire celebrities. There's so many messages that they throw out there. And I love looking at the Emmys, and I love looking at the Oscars, and I just enjoy different, just looking at different avenues to find that inspiration and that motivation to keep me grounded with media. Because I don't see too much of us, and me being a grandma, I feel like I could do whatever I want, and I love media, and I want to be able to talk about how important it is, how hard it is, and how hard it was for me to be able to say, let's just keep going, don't stop, don't continue being a secretary. I'm tired of being a secretary. I've been sitting there for so many years. I dedicated to my community for so many years, and being able to write stories, the stuff that comes into my mind, and especially the experiences that I've been through in my life, that I'm able to share those stories. And I think is important, especially when it comes to mental illness,
right.
And that topic is so important because we need to bring that out, especially for a child who grew up with a mental illness, my dad, he was mentally ill. It was very hard for me. It was a very difficult time. And it's funny how it still affects us to this very day. It still affects me this very day because sometimes I get scared, I'm not confident. But you know what? When I'm sitting here, I feel so confident. I feel so good and happy, like if I'm meant to do this thing.
Right.
And so I really hope that in the future, with the project that I'm trying to work on, especially with the documentary about a true story in Harlem, it's so important that we look at certain things and really put it into perspective. And I hope that I'm not sounding like I'm not making any sense. What I'm trying to say is that when you have something grounded, be able to take that and use it in a positive way.
Right.
To be able to try to encourage and inspire people. And I'm happy to be able to do this. And media is such a beautiful thing. It can really, I can create things, But again, I just need to find that motivation and to keep going, because I never had anyone to push me, besides you, of course, because you've been supporting me. You always, I'm so thankful. Thank you, God, that I have a husband who supports me and who I hired as a host, and it's just a great thing to be able to say to yourself, I'm better than this. I don't have to be a secretary.
Or you have aspirations to do something other than the norm, the normal 9 to 5 and stuff like that. When did you get to the point where you said that, I don't want to be, I don't want to work another 9 to 5, and film is something I like. I know you've acted, I know you've been in extras and a few things and stuff like that, but when did you decide you wanted to be behind the camera as opposed to in front of it so much? And when did you decide that you wanted to write and direct your story in a documentary? When did you decide to do that?
Because you told me I'm better. Because you said to me, I can do something with my story. Because you said to me, you know what, honey? You can do something about this. We can inspire people.
Right.
We can inspire a young generation, And because I also noticed the numbers of Latin directors. There's a few. There's a few. And so since we were living in this small little cottage, and of course, I wasn't working, I was unemployed. I've been unemployed for almost 5 years now. And I'm so grateful for that because I took all that energy and all that time to sit down and start writing, you know. And also because, you know, sometimes we have family members who don't believe in you and who don't want to know you. That pushed me and encouraged me to say, okay, then I'm going to do something. And I want everyone to know who I am. So I guess because of all the negativities, it kind of pushed me to think positive. Use it in a positive way. Because I do want to be better than my parents, you know, and that was my push. But of course, it was you because you always, you know, you always, you know, you encourage me, you tell me things.
That's
you know?
my job. But at what point, at what point do you start, would you tell someone to start blocking out the negative stuff, you know? Because if we dwell on it, it usually slows us up because I always say, if you're thinking about somebody or something that is affecting you negatively, right, you're basically focusing on that thing. That is like the most important thing is like, why, how come, I don't understand it, as opposed to, I don't care, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna block this out,
Well,
you know? I mean, how do we encourage people to block out the negative, block out the obstacles that people put in your way in order for you to do something? How do we inspire people to say, block that out and keep moving forward? Because that blockage, that negative stuff that comes in, right, can be detrimental to somebody fulfilling their true potential.
Well, as an advocate against domestic violence, I enjoy teaching the girls, the young girls, the mothers, to change your mindset. Change your mindset. Take a breathe. Go to a room. Smile. You know, you have to change all that up. And I'm telling you, it gives me goosebumps. You will definitely start thinking positive because you have to change your mindset. That's the only thing I can say. I mean, I don't know who's out there looking at me, but if you're a millionaire, you can have all the money in the world, you can have all the land you own, but if your mind ain't right, your mind ain't right. I'm sorry, that's who I am. But anyway, my point is just being able to find ways to stay positive. You gotta stay positive. You know, growing up, you know, I didn't have that motivation. Like I said, I didn't have the inspiration in my household, you know, to have a father to encourage me, to give me love. You know, I didn't have none of that stuff. So how did I learn all this stuff? I just went out, you know, I thank you God I had good friends, you know, good friends with great families, you know, that's what I looked for, to see the relationship that they had. Also television show was awesome, you know, that kept me going, you know, after I got, you know, with all this negative stuff in my mind, you know, especially now with this pandemic, what do? You got to keep your mindset different, you know, feed it, give it, you know, meditate, you know, listen to some beautiful songs, and number one, praise God, you know, and put Him in your life, and make sure you stay calm. And it's amazing how when you pray, you stay calm, you know. And it all those little things I've worked, and I try to mold myself, and I try to keep myself in a level, balanced way. And so that's why, unfortunately, with unemployment, it was hard for me because I couldn't find work. You know that. I'm home. You're working. And so what I do, so I write, you know, I self-teach myself. You know, I teach myself how to produce, how to direct. Of course, I had this wonderful workshop here, which helped me. It's been already, it's going to be 2 years now that we have this show.
I think maybe 2 years.
It's been a while now. And ever since the pandemic, it shut down. What did I do?
But I
I immediately just transform our whole apartment into a studio during this pandemic, and I just started creating.
You live in a condo, by the way. You don't live in an apartment.
Well, anyway, the point is, I converted the whole living room into a production studio, and I bought all the equipment from all my savings, from our savings, and it was a lot of money, but I didn't care because the passion, the ability to continue with the show, and being able to use this platform to keep our show going. Spoken Voices was just a beautiful thing for us to be able to invite other people to hear their stories.
Right.
And so I'm hoping that the documentary, I can help people to enjoy this story. And of course, during this pandemic, I created my own film production, which is Puerto Black Domino Effect. So, I just kind of thought about the Puerto Rican and the Black, and also the pattern that's going on with my family, how I want to change it up and I want to stop that change. And I want to be able to help and inspire my children. You can be better. You can be better. You can be anything you want to be. But as long as you have God first in your life and have a balanced life, and be generous. I try to teach that to my kids.
So what do you want, the documentary that we're filming? What do you want, and how do you want it to reach people? What do you want people at the end of it, when the credits roll? What do you want people walking out of the theater thinking?
I want them to think about their father, the relationship that they have with their parents, the relationship in the family, because nowadays we're living in a very critical time, and it's very hard to deal with because there's no natural affection, and especially when it comes to domestic violence, and this is what the story is basically about, and especially living with someone who's mentally ill, and how do you cope with that, and how do you triumph from that? And it's a very passionate, and it's a very compelling, true story, and I wanted to reach every father out there because they are the first love of that daughter's life, of their daughter's life. My father, that was my first love. That was the first man in my life. But he only taught me a lot of violence and hate. And so, thank you. I went through some therapy, but it didn't help me at all. What helped me was that I returned back to the shelter. I returned.
See, but my thing is, that's the gist of the documentary.
The story. But again,
what I want you to tell the audience is what you want them to take from that, from everything that you're saying now. What do you want the audience to leave the theater thinking?
To love and
Right.
to forgive.
Okay.
To have love and to be able to forgive each other, because we need that nowadays, and it's important, because again, I probably said too much about this documentary, but
No,
the point
that
is
was
that
just
I
the
just really
synopsis
want
of
to be
it.
able to use the platform that I have and to tell my story, and it's love, compassion, forgiveness, and if you haven't seen your daughter, find her. Just like again, for our children too, our sons, I don't leave them out either, but it's more about what I went through as a child and how I can hope and pray that it can relate to the audience,
Right.
And again, going back to Puerto Black Domino Effect, I created, the film production, and so
Right.
the film production is still going. We're doing our filming in New York City, in Harlem, and thank God for my cameraman, and it's just us, just the four of us. That's it. No acting, and it's just pure original. And again, we have too many parents who hold back pain,
Right.
and then it's amazing how it can still trickle down to our generation. And I want to stop that for my family.
Right, of course.
To be able to say, hey, if we can't forgive and love one another, then it's fine. It's fine, but I need to take care of me. I need to cure me. I need to fix my heart
Right.
by sharing my story,
Of course.
But
And hopefully that hopefully the story, like I said, for me, I hope it inspires.
I hope so too.
I hope whoever, and I'll break it down like this for a quick second. I hope the documentary inspires everyone, regardless of nationality, regardless of who sees it, and because I don't want it to just hit one group of people.
Of course not. I'm
I
sure
want
this can relate to everybody.
Yeah, it is, because at the end of the day, the human experience is the human experience. What we have gotten caught up in is nationality, culture, and whatnot. And at the end of the day, we're all human.
Yes, exactly.
And our experience is so much the same experience. We just come from different places.
Yes.
Me and you come from New York City. It's different from somebody coming from Kansas, right? But only thing that's different is your environment. The situation that you're in is the same. If you're from a beautiful family and whatnot, that beautiful family is the same beautiful family that's in LA. It's the same dichotomy of it. So when this thing comes out, our show, I always want it to be transcending. It transcends the stupid things that most humans think about themselves, So it's really important that you keep doing what you're doing. And if you keep doing what you're doing, and if you keep, you can kind of harness that emotion. If you harness it, right, and you're able to concentrate on doing something positive, I think, your new career that started 5 years ago, right?
And I'm still holding on.
Your new attitude about what you want to do with your life.
My new attitude? What do you mean?
Your new attitude as far as saying that
as a producer, director?
A 9 to 5 is not something that I want to do anymore.
No, not anymore.
Yeah. And say that I want to do something that is productive for myself, but also for the people.
Yeah, I
think that's a great thing.
I want to say that it's so hard, babe. It's hard. It's been hard for me. It's been so stressful for me to try to figure out, how to do certain things and how to fund my production. And I kind of realized that if I just leave that alone and just show my passion, just work with it and continue sticking to it, just like my son who called me today, and say, hey, Mom, what are you doing? And I'm like, okay, I'm on my way to the studio. So he's like, well, are you home? Come on, Mom, stop joking around. So I'm like, okay, I understand that we don't have this in our family, this beautiful production that we created, that we're doing together. And the kids will be so surprised because I want them to know that they have a mom who's, of course, I'm always motivating them because I'm motivated, I'm so excited.
Right.
So to make my point is that, it's hard, it's not easy. This is a very hard field, it's very challengeable. And this, and again, it's, I'm competing here. And again, I don't want to compete with anybody. I just want to share my story.
Well, if you look at it as not a competition, as you look at it the things that you do.
Yeah.
It's not a competition. But if you put something out there, right, that's what you're putting out there. Yeah. What anybody else is doing, if you put on, what do they put on horses?
Oh,
blinders?
Blind thingies, yeah.
Yeah.
But I understand
and stay
that.
focused. You don't care what's going on
yes.
around.
And what I'm trying to say is that sometimes, for me, I give up. Because I get tired. And I say to myself, I'm so used to cooking and cleaning and just being the housewife. And of course, I have many hats because I also teach salsa and I enjoy teaching salsa. And then I enjoy helping the girls at the shelter. And I'm managing the household. And I'm managing, making sure the kids are okay, try to find out what's going on with them, making sure they're okay. And how we can always have that meeting and making sure that they're doing their job. But then again, it's hard because I come from a family that I was brought up in silence. It was so silent. I couldn't speak, I couldn't express myself, and I couldn't breathe. I couldn't. I was so bottled up for so many years, and how wonderful it is to be able to still be here and say, hey, I'm creating this. Can I stick with it? Can I do this? It's a hard field. It's not easy. And that's why I say, going back in the beginning, you know, when it comes to media for the Latinos, I don't see too much of that. And again, where do I go for inspiration? You know, I try to read books. You know, I try to find the history of, okay, how did, you know, is there any Latinas, Latinos? And of course, I'm so happy there's some of us that are doing that. But directors, producers, I really need to see more of that. But then I said to myself, hey, hold up, I can do it. Let me try it. Let this Latina try it. Let me try it, you know?
Yeah, we're at the end of the show.
Okay,
Believe
great.
it or not.
Thank you.
Believe it or not.
Yes.
Times go by quickly.
Too quickly.
Yes. Well, we're glad you came. And I'm very sure that everybody is pushing for you to do what you got to do. And like I say, try your best, do your best. You'll be successful. I know you will.
I think that success is just being confident in yourself, being confident, being happy, and finding that passion in you. And that's what I've learned throughout these years.
Success is personal.
Yeah.
As nobody else's success can be yours.
Yeah.
Anyway, again, glad you came.
Of course,
But
I'm the
as-
director, I'm the producer.
Always. But as always, we tell the people what?
Man makes plan and God smiles, right? That's what you say.
All the time. Thank you for joining us on Spoken Voices, and we look forward to you joining us again on the next edition. Take care and be well.